We want to take you to this breaking news alert right now. This is in Northwest Miami-Dade. Your eyes are on that white four-door Charger. This is, we're getting information from our desk here, but we're watching this four-door white Charger on the turnpike right now, involved in what we believe to be some sort of police chase. And as you can see from these live pictures from Sky 10, that car is driving at a very high rate of speed. Now, we're working right now to give you the exact location of where this is, but we do know the last point of contact was on the turnpike. It looks like that car, though, right now getting off at an exit there. Bear with us here as we work with our news desk, as we continue to make phone calls out to get an exact location of where this is. That car got off the turnpike. Looks like it's turning back. It looks like it might be getting back onto the turnpike. So we did say Northwest Miami-Dade. This looks like this is actually Southwest Miami-Dade. Again, we're watching this live chase with you right now, so bear with us while we get all that information for you. So if you're just joining us live, we are watching very closely this white four-door Charger on the turnpike, speeding on the turnpike right now. Looks like it's part of some sort of police chase now. How it came to this chase, we are still working to get those details on all of this. Do we have the exact location of where this is? We just know this is on the turnpike, again, in Southwest Miami-Dade. If you know someone who may be on this route or could be taking this route, let them know about this situation, because this car is driving at a very high rate of speed. At one point, that car got off on an exit, but then got back on the turnpike. That car continuing to drive very fast. Looks like, again, this is in Southwest Miami-Dade. 216. Okay, so we are hearing that the car got back on the turnpike at 216th Street heading southbound. So this car is heading southbound. At last check, it got back on at 216th Street, heading southbound on the turnpike. So as you are joining us now, we are watching this Dodge Charger speeding south on the turnpike right now, and we do understand that this is all part of some sort of police situation. We do know police are close behind. They've been monitoring this car. We did see a chopper overhead as well. Now, what exactly has led up to this situation, why this car is trying to evade police, or what exactly happened, we don't know. We also do not know how many people may or may not be inside that vehicle right now. But again, heading down the turnpike, this is southbound, obviously driving at a high rate of speed. At last check, that car got back on the turnpike at 216th Street. So no doubt it will be shortly heading towards Florida City and Homestead area right now. So looks like the car is driving on the shoulder as it's passing several cars. We see a sign there that said Homestead Air Reserve Base, so it's near that area right now as it is heading southbound in the Homestead area. Right there, we were trying to catch these. Southwest again, looking at those exits. That looked like exit 6 there on the turnpike south, I think was the last sign we saw, so heading toward exit. As we can watch these exit signs again, trying to get all this info for you. Just passing exit 6 on the turnpike southbound right now, passing by Homestead. So again, this car heading southbound on the turnpike, just passing exit 6 on the turnpike in the Homestead area. Looks like it's also passing an exit where there is a rest stop. So right now you're joining us. This car obviously driving very fast. 288th Street, Southwest 288th Street, just passing 288th Street exit. So we don't know exactly what led up to this situation. We're working to get details with police, but right now we want to follow this situation to hopefully this all comes to a peaceful end. But it looks like this car again is really dodging through traffic. It is going in and out of different lanes. It is driving on the shoulder, even at one point getting off an exit and getting back on the turnpike. So this car driving very fast, trying to avoid police. Right now it is on the shoulder, avoiding all the cars ahead. It looks like some of the cars seem to be slowing down and stopping, probably aware of the situation as I see this car driving at a very high rate of speed. We did just see that car pass 288th Street exit as it is continuing down. And it looks like there are police set up in the area, but this car is just going to keep going as it continues to try to evade police. It is going in and out of these lanes. This four-door white Charger, we don't know how many people inside this car. We also don't know what led up to this situation in the first place. We have seen a chopper overhead, and we've seen several police cars along the route here on the Turnpike southbound. In the Homestead area right now, the last exit we saw it pass was 288th Street. We're working to see if we can get another sign here from the chopper and get an idea of exactly where it is. But as you can see, this car just sort of going straight ahead on the shoulder, just continuing to speed, passing all these cars. Looks like some of those cars are slowing down, probably aware of what is going on. So if you're just joining us right now, you're watching this live with us. We're going through this live with you in Southwest Miami-Dade. This apparent police chase of some sort on the Turnpike southbound in the Homestead area. The last exit we saw this car pass was 288th Street. That car driving at a very high rate of speed and really in some situations getting quite dangerous as it is switching lanes quickly. There are obviously plenty of other cars out on the roadway right now. This car at many times driving on the shoulder. I'm getting information from our producers as we continue to watch this situation. And as many of you know, the Turnpike southbound will eventually dump to Florida City and then eventually US 1. So the Turnpike does come to an end. Now, this is a route that you'd be familiar with if you head to the Keys, which you would head south on the Turnpike, and then eventually in Florida City, it becomes US 1, and then from US 1, you can continue on into the Keys. So that is the route we are watching. That seems to be the direction this car is heading. So anyone who's ever been to the Keys, you're familiar with this route as the Turnpike passes through Homestead, eventually finishes off in Florida City, and then continues on to US 1. So that is what we're waiting for, because no doubt once that car does make it to US 1, once it gets to Florida City, we are expecting to see some pretty heavy traffic, because on any given moment, US 1 does have a lot of cars on the roadway, but you can see this car continuing to just drive around any vehicles that seem to be in its way and really just keeps going fast. So now we're at US 1. There will be stoplights here, so we'll see what this car does once it hits some of the lights. Looks like it's just continues to go forward, making this right turn as there is a police car very close behind this car, passing a gas station right now, but doesn't seem like this car is obeying any traffic rules, not only by its speed, but also not listening to those traffic signals, just continuing to drive down here at a very high rate of speed. Thankfully, we don't see, well, now we see cars, but passing these intersections, looks like it's driving into a parking lot of sorts, or still on the roadway there, but it looks like there are some businesses in the area. No doubt police are very close behind this car. It's going to be a little hard for this car to avoid police now that it's in an area that requires lots of turns off of US 1, driving around where there are some businesses, but driving at a very high rate of speed right now. In Florida City, we are trying to work on an exact street that this car is on, but it's made several turns. Looks like it's going to keep going straight, though, not making any more turns, and looks like it's passing several businesses, some other cars getting out of the way here, knowing that this is indeed a dangerous situation. And it looks like a residential area. There are some houses in this area as well, but as we look behind this car, if you're able to see, I do see a police car very close behind this white four-door Dodger, getting out of the car. Looks like there's 4 people running out of the car. 4 people, 2 heading in one direction, the other 2 in a different one. So we're staying on with these 2 right now. Running into a wooded area. Chopper above, we do know 2 other people ran in different directions. So 4 people got out of the car, 2 went right, 2 went left. And hopefully, we're hoping police can get an eye on these people, but it looks like they ran into a wooded area right now, Christy.
And Denise, while you've been watching and monitoring the situation, we want to let people know that when these folks were on the Turnpike, we understand that they threw out of the car some sort of an assault weapon, and our crew nearby, Syra Onwer, is going to be getting us that video of that. They actually were right in that area when the assault rifle went flying out of the car.
So obviously a situation here, but as we're looking right now, looks like police may be closing in or trying to look through this area. So this is in Southwest Miami-Dade, Florida City. They were on US 1, made a couple of turns, ending up in this field, really, as we're very familiar with Southwest Miami-Dade, Christy. We know there's a lot of farm areas there, a lot of vegetation. It's very easy for people to hide in this area.
Very easy to hide. Again, you said 4 people jumped out of this vehicle that we see right there at the intersection. They were obviously having some car difficulty with smoking there. The police on the scene are definitely looking for these folks that scattered in 4 different directions and took off running from this car. We're not exactly sure where this all originated, where the original crime scene was, but they were in hot pursuit there, going very, very fast on the turnpike.
And at one point they were heading northbound on the turnpike, then they got off the turnpike, turned around, started to head southbound. So like you said, Christy, we don't know where this all originated from. We just know that this chase really mainly was on the turnpike. And as we're looking here, this is a residential area. Obviously, this is drawing a whole lot of attention as we can see people in this neighborhood walking out of their houses, no doubt seeing that police activity and hearing the commotion going on. So this is a residential area, so we're working to try to get you the exact street of this. Bear with us as this was all very fluid. The car making several turns off of US 1, but we do know this is in the Florida City area.
It is. In fact, I'm just getting the address. This is Northwest 5th Avenue and 13th Street. Again, Northwest 5th Avenue and 13th Street. That is the area right now. And so if you have loved ones in this area, this would be a very good time to tell them to stay put, get in a house, because there are at least 4 suspects out there on the run, and probably not the best of folks. Probably pretty dangerous fellas there. So again, Northwest 5th Avenue and 13th Street, a very wooded field area. Police are combing the area right now, but being very careful as well, because we don't know if any of these men are armed.
And we did mention how you said that our reporter Syra Onward just happened to be by when they saw these suspects, or really these men, throw out what appeared to be some sort of weapon. But we don't know if there are other weapons involved. So again, a very delicate situation. As you can see, several police cars getting into this area. We do know that at least 2 of those people ran into this area, but the other 2 ran in the opposite direction. Looks like police are running right now, so they may have a lead. We're going to watch this with you, but of course, bear with us as we continue to gather up this information. You are watching this live with us, all of this going down in Florida City. They bailed out of that car in an intersection at a neighborhood, but then they ended up in this field right now, and lots of places for them to hide. But the police do have a chopper overhead, so I'm sure they've got a bird's eye view of these men. And again, there's 4 men that got out of that car.
And they scattered in 4 different directions. So it's a very large scene that they're looking at right now. Again, Northwest 5th Avenue and 13th Street is the area that we are told is of concern right now. That's where they bailed out of their vehicle that had been going up and down. Does that look like they've got somebody?
I think it is, yes. I believe they have at least 1 person handcuffed there from what we are looking at here. We're zoomed out right now, but when we were zoomed in, it looked like he had his hands behind his back. So it looks like they may have 1 person handcuffed right now. That's what it seems to be right now.
In custody? Yeah, okay. We can definitely tell that somebody is handcuffed.
Yes, and it looks like they're walking that man. But again, there were 4 people in total, so we don't know if they've found all of them, or if, again, they scattered and they ran pretty quickly when we saw them bail out of that car. So police definitely having to go in different directions to try to follow this situation and figure out what's going on. And very important to mention, and we said this, we don't know exactly how this all started, why why these men decided to try to run from police.
Right.
That's information we're working on right now. We have a lot of people on our news desk making calls. Syra Onwar is also trying to get to this scene as she kind of saw some stuff.
2 in custody. I'm being told now 2 people are in custody. And Syra was actually on her way down to the Florida City area because, as Jeff Weinstein had mentioned and brought us breaking news during our noon show, there was a report of a shooting in that area. So Syra was on her way to that shooting scene when she happened upon the car chase. We're not sure at this point if these 2 things are connected.
Yeah, but both obviously 2 situations going on in Florida City, this one being the one that we are watching right now. Again, that seems to be one of the men. They have handcuffs, so we know at least 2, 3.
We are now getting word that 3 people have been taken into custody. 3 of the 4 who bailed out of that car at Northwest 5th Avenue and 13th Street. So 3 are in custody, are handcuffed and are being questioned, and they are still looking at, we think, for a 4th individual. Right,
because we saw when they bailed out of that car, all of them scattering in different directions, running quite quickly. So we're waiting to see if they get that 4th person in custody. Again, this area, even though it is a residential area, a lot of greenery here, a lot of farmlands here, which is very typical of the Florida City area, so lots of places for these people to hide, but it does look like police got a good grip on this situation. There is a chopper flying overhead.
Set up a perimeter very quickly, and we're able to kind of close in on those individuals. Again, 3 out of the 4 that we know of, are in custody at this point. We don't know where the original starting spot was, where this, the first crime happened, and why they were on the run, but they did go north at a very high rate of speed on the turnpike, got off for a time, got back on the turnpike, and headed back down to Florida City. And that's where it ended, at Northwest 5th Avenue and 13th Street.
And during that chase, this car was driving at a very high rate of speed, going in and out of different lanes, at one point even driving on the shoulder. A very dangerous situation for anyone.
Amazing that doesn't look like anybody on the turnpike got into any kind of an accident as a result.
And thankfully so. And even
very much so.
And even when the turnpike sort of ends and becomes ends at Florida City, and then US 1, there were a lot of stoplights there, and this car just kept going very fast. And thankfully, again, didn't seem like this car hit any cars or anyone in this area. So do we have?
Well, actually, what I believe I'm being told by one of our producers in my ear right now is that we have a picture of that weapon that Syra was able to get for us. So you can see that right on the side of the road. Some video. This was thrown out of that suspect's car.
Looks like a long gun that they threw out of the window. But like we mentioned, Christy, we don't know if this was the only weapon they had, if they had other weapons. And very important to note that we don't even know why this all started in the first place. So that's information that we're working on. And we don't know the exact location of where this all started, because at one point these men were driving north on the turnpike, but then they turned around and started heading south on the turnpike. So it looks like they were doing whatever they could to just avoid police driving very fast and just trying to find an area like here in Florida City,
like a wooded area where they could get out and try to hide. As soon as we can get Syra on the phone or on video here, we will try to get to her and talk to her and see if she can give us a little bit more information about what she saw. But we do have Syra on. We're one of our reporters heading in this direction, and she should be there shortly.
And as we're looking right now live again here in Florida City, this residential area, but also some farmlands here as well, we see a very heavy police presence. Looks like multiple agencies are assisting in this situation, and we do know at least 3 people have been handcuffed. They have been taken into custody. We know that 4 people bailed out of that car. We're trying to confirm if that 4th person is still out there or if they have been able to locate that 4th person. But as we are looking at these live pictures, looks like police are all gathering in this intersection. Don't see a lot of urgency from this view, so it is possible that that 4th person has been found, or they at least know the location. And as you're looking at the split screen, that was the moment where all 4 of those men just took off running in different directions. And from this view, you could see these 2 men run behind what appears to be some sort of apartment complex here, running in this wooded area, and that's sort of where we lose them from Sky 10. But we do know police had their own chopper up there, so they have been able to watch this all unfold, obviously getting that bird's eye view. So far we know 3 men we saw in handcuffs. They have been taken into police custody. We are working to see if the 4th person is still hiding. Are they still looking? Okay.
Looking, as far as we can tell, they're still looking for a 4th person. And again, we are efforting to get Syra on. We're on the phone because she saw some of this unfolding as she was making her way down to Florida City to cover a shooting that had happened earlier in the day.
And that was important to note because our Jeff Wines here was reporting on that shooting in Florida City during our noon newscast. We do know that it was in an area nearby a school, but we have no idea if these 2 situations are connected. We just know there was a shooting at Florida City, and then there was this situation that took place fairly near the turnpike, because at one point going north, the next point going south. So we don't know exactly how this all started, why this created a police chase, or what these men exactly did or are possibly accused of doing. But again, working to get all that information to see exactly what happened. But we do know 4 men in total were inside that car, at least 3 of them now taken into custody. And if you're looking at your screen right now, on the left is where you can see the live pictures of where this bailout happened. On the right is where you see that car driving on the turnpike in some very tense moments as that car was driving in and out of traffic, at one point just speeding down the shoulder there.
And right now we have Syra on. We're on the phone with us. And Syra, just give us an idea of what you've been able to see.
Guys, so we were on the northbound turnpike, and we were looking at an on-ramp at Campbell, and we saw a Miami-Dade police officer who had pulled over, and there was a large, it looked like a high-capacity rifle in the grass just off of the road, and we saw the police they had kind of stopped traffic there, and they were waiting for, I think, another crew to come and pick up this rifle. And then shortly later on the northbound turnpike, we saw the chase coming southbound, so it's coming towards us on the other side of the turnpike. They then came off. Where are we now?
We're in Florida City.
We're now
Near
in
where the
Florida City, near where the turnpike ends, and that's where there's some sort of perimeter by some vegetable fields. There's a number of Miami-Dade police vehicles, dozens, I would say, out here right now. They've just put the perimeter up. There's a lot of people outside recording this on their phones. Miami-Dade helicopters just flew above us. And that's what we've seen so far. Again, when we were at the turnpike on Campbell, we saw, again, on the on-ramp, a large capacity rifle just on the ground, just in the grass, and an officer had pulled over, and this was shortly before we saw the chase coming southbound in the opposite direction that we were traveling in, and then we then followed the chase, and we're now here in Florida City where it ended.
The suspects were going at a very high rate of speed. They were really going in and out of traffic. It was pretty frightening to see, I'm sure.
It really was, and I mean, to see all the other cars, they were all getting out of the officer's way, but it was really going fast, and we saw it all pass us, and we've got some recordings that we're hoping to share with you pretty soon.
All right, Syra, we're going to let you continue to try to get to this perimeter where police are right now, but we will touch base with you as soon as you get to that scene and you get more information for us. Right now, though, you are looking at that moment where those suspects all bail out. There it is right now. As they all bail out of that car, we know 3 people, at least 3 are in custody as they continue to search for the 4th person.
And I believe our chopper needs to go get some more fuel, and we are going to continue to monitor this situation. Again, 3 suspects that we know of are in custody. They are still searching, by our understanding, for that 4th suspect. We'll get more information. We have crews on the way.